Hey everyone, it's Tyler, and this is my review of Hollow City by Ransom Riggs. Hollow City is the second book in the Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children series. Hollow City picks up right where Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children left off, so I'm going to do a really quick review of the first book so you know what I'm talking about in a second. In the first book, Jacob is a teenager from Florida who discovers a secret about his grandfather, who he's very close with. To further understand who his grandfather was and kind of solve the mystery surrounding his death, he decides to travel to the island off of Wales where his grandfather grew up. Jacob and his father travel to this island, and while there, he meets a group of very peculiar children with very peculiar talents. The children live in a loop. A loop is it's in time, so they're living the same day over and over again. And the reason they live in the loop is to protect the children and to protect the peculiar dim. But it soon becomes apparent that these children are not without enemies, mainly from rights and hollows. Hollows are invisible creatures that the rights control. And they are trying to raid not only Miss Peregrine's loop, but other loops throughout the world, and stealing their matrons. Miss Peregrine is the matron for this loop. There is another word for it in the book that I can't pronounce, and I'm not going to embarrass myself in attempting to pronounce. By the end of the book, Jacob has to make the choice of whether or not to help save the loop and help protect Miss Peregrine, or return to normal life with his father. As I mentioned before, Hollow City picks up right where Miss Peregrine leaves off. And I'm gonna kind of spoil the ending of Miss Peregrine. So if you don't want to hear the ending for the first book, shut your ears. Turn away now. Hollow City picks up with Jacob and the children escaping the island and after rescuing Miss Peregrine. The problem is Miss Peregrine is stuck in bird form and can't transfer herself back. The children are looking for a way to save her and to save the other loops. Along the way, they meet a lot of new friends, a lot of interesting new friends, and a lot of enemies along the way. Jacob's particular talent, which is being able to see hollows, comes in use. But every one of the children has to face the question of what being peculiar means to them, what role they're going to be playing in the effort to save the loops and to save their world, and really what the future lies for each one of them. I really liked this book. I actually kind of liked it a little bit more than the first book. It rarely happens, but I found because the characters were already established, it gave the author room to really develop them a little bit more. I didn't agree with every decision that the children made, and towards the end, Emma, who is written as Jacob's love interest and one of the main female characters in the book, there was a decision that she made towards the end, and that she kind of imposed on Jacob, or tried to impose on Jacob. And I didn't agree with it, but I understood it. And I think that's why I like this book a little bit more, is that Ransom Riggs was able to write the characters in a way that I emphasized with every decision that they made. There are some of the children that I don't like, and if you read it, I'm pretty sure you know who I'm talking about, and some of the children that I loved. And they each kind of have to make a decision about, the role that they're going to be playing in this effort to save their home and their way of life. The book was written in a way where it was fast-paced, it was interesting, and it was intriguing. I was a little worried about reading it because of how I felt about the first one, and I thought it may not be as good, so I kind of held off reading it for a little bit. But then once I started reading it, I kept having to read it. I just needed to keep going. And that to me is always a sign of a good book. I think Ransom Riggs is really getting into the stride of his writing. He's really getting comfortable with his writing, and I can tell, and I just want to keep reading. The book is helped along with these amazing real photographs that are throughout the book that give you a sense that these children, these characters, they're real, and this world is real, and it made me want to invest more into their story and to find out what happened. So you just keep wanting to read it, and I did not want to put it down at all. And it made my sleep patterns suffer, but it was worth suffering for. I was very worried about the pace of the book compared to the plot line. It seemed that I was running out of room in the number of pages I had left to go to a big climatic scene. And I think I've just been trained, or I think I have been primed to think that in books like this, there's always going to be a really big battle at the end of the book. They're going to face down their enemy, and they are going to triumph and prevail, or they're going to fall. And the climax of the book was not like that. I'm not going to tell you what happens. I'm going to try to make this as spoiler-free as possible. But I will say that I did think that the ending of the book was very well done, very befitting of the story. I was not expecting it at all, and I'm glad that he ended it in that way, that it did not leave me feeling wanting. It didn't leave me feeling disappointed in how it ended. I was worried that it was going to be anticlimactic because I was running out of pages to read, and I did not know where this was going. So the ending that he did write was very good, very well written, and I really can't wait to read the next one now. I'm really excited to read the next one. He set it up in a way where the author set it up in a way where it's going to lead into the next book seamlessly again. I'm going to count the days until I can read it, and I'm just really looking forward to it. I hope you guys enjoyed this review of Hollow City by Ransom Riggs, and I hope you enjoyed the book as much as I do. If not, that's okay, because everybody has different taste in books. And I wish you all happy reading. Bye.